Did you ever feel like the person you loved most was living a double life? A secret life right under your nose? Buckle up, because this is the story of how I discovered my wife Ashley was cheating on me. Ashley and I, we were, or at least I thought we were, the perfect couple. We lived in this bustling city, had a cute little apartment, and were working towards building our dream life together. It was a place where she could disappear, where she could be someone else, where she could lead a double life without anyone ever knowing. I started noticing things I hadn't before. The way she looked at certain men, the subtle flirtations, the knowing smiles. I laid the hotel bill on the table, the silent accusation hanging in the air. The divorce was messy. The legal battles dragged on for months. Our friends took sides. Our families were devastated. The city, once our shared home, became a battleground. Every street corner, every familiar landmark, was a reminder of our broken marriage. I moved out of our apartment, unable to bear the memories that lingered there. I found a small, anonymous place on the outskirts of the city, a refuge from the pain and the memories. I isolated myself from everyone, unable to face the pitying glances and the awkward conversations. I spent my days lost in a haze of grief and anger, replaying the events of the past year over and over in my mind. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I couldn't function. The city that never sleeps seemed to mock my insomnia, its relentless energy a constant reminder of my own broken spirit. I felt like I was drowning, sinking deeper and deeper into a sea of despair. The only thing that kept me afloat was the knowledge that I would eventually get through this, that I would eventually find a way to rebuild my life. She denied it at first, of course, but when I presented the evidence, the receipts, the text messages, the inconsistencies in her stories, she finally broke down. The tears flowed, the apologies came pouring out, but it was too late. The damage was done. She confessed to the affair, to a passionate fling with a colleague at work. She claimed it was a mistake, a moment of weakness, that she still loved me. But I didn't believe her. The trust was gone, shattered beyond repair. The anger boiled over, a torrent of rage and pain that I couldn't contain. I yelled, I screamed, I accused her of everything. She cried, she pleaded, she begged for forgiveness. But I was deaf to her pleas. The image of her with another man, the betrayal, the lies, it was all too much to bear. I told her to leave, to get out of my life. I couldn't stand to look at her, to be in the same room with her. The city outside seemed to echo my anger, the sirens wailing like a mournful cry. It was like a switch had flipped, and I was suddenly seeing her in a completely different light. The woman I thought I knew, the woman I had pledged to spend my life with, was a stranger to me. I remember walking through the city streets, feeling lost and alone in a sea of faces. Every couple I saw, every loving interaction, felt like a personal attack, a reminder of what I was losing, of what I had already lost. The city, once a symbol of our dreams and aspirations, had become a constant reminder of her betrayal. I started avoiding our usual haunts, the places we used to frequent, the restaurants, the parks, the coffee shops. They were all tainted, poisoned by the memory of her lies. The joy had been sucked out of everything, leaving behind a hollow emptiness that threatened to consume me. Ashley, though, she had a temper, a short fuse. It was tucked away in the pocket of a jacket she hadn't worn in weeks. A bill from a swanky hotel downtown, a hotel known for its discretion and privacy. The dates on the bill coincided with another business trip, another elaborate lie. This time, I didn't confront her. I couldn't. The pain was too much, the betrayal too deep. I felt like I had been punched in the stomach, winded and gasping for air. I just sat there, staring at the bill, the evidence of her infidelity staring back at me. The anger started to build, a slow-burning rage that threatened to erupt. How could she do this to me? How could she betray our vows, our love, our life together? I replayed every moment of our relationship in my head, searching for clues, for signs I had missed. Had I been too blind? Too trusting? Too naive? The questions swirled around in my mind, a chaotic storm of doubt and disbelief. I felt like I was living in a nightmare, a twisted version of reality where the person I loved most was my worst enemy. The city lights outside my window seemed to mock me, their glittering facade hiding the darkness and deceit that had consumed my life. It was something I always tried to navigate, tried to understand, chalking it up to stress from her demanding job. Little did I know, that stress was likely guilt, gnawing at her conscience. Things started subtly. Late nights at the office, business trips I wasn't invited on, and a growing distance between us. I started noticing changes in her behavior. She became more secretive with her phone, would snap at me for the smallest things, and generally seemed detached. I tried talking to her about it, but every conversation turned into a screaming match, with her accusing me of being insecure and controlling. Red flags were waving like crazy, but I was so blinded by love, or perhaps denial, that I refused to acknowledge them. I wanted to believe her. I desperately wanted to believe that everything was okay, that we were okay. But deep down, a nagging feeling persisted, a feeling that something was terribly, irrevocably wrong. This is when my nightmare began, the unraveling of everything I thought I knew about my life, my marriage, and the woman I loved. Get ready for the truth, because it's about to get messy. And let me tell you, it's a wild ride filled with anger, heartbreak, and a city full of secrets. Just a small slip of paper, tucked away in her purse. A receipt from a fancy restaurant I'd never heard of. A restaurant that wasn't near her office. A restaurant that certainly wasn't our usual date night spot. The date and time on the receipt corresponded to a night when Ashley told me she was working late. My heart sank. It felt like a punch to the gut, a cold wave of dread washing over me. I confronted her about it, of course, but she brushed it off as a business dinner with a potential client. But something felt off. The way she avoided eye contact, the slight tremor in her voice, the lack of detail. It just didn't add up. I decided to do some digging, a decision that would ultimately change my life forever. I knew it was wrong, invading her privacy like that, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being lied to, that something sinister was going on behind my back. So, I started small. I checked her call logs, her text messages, and even her email accounts when she left them open. I felt like a spy in my own home, a detective searching for clues in a mystery I desperately didn't want to solve. The more I dug, the more my suspicions grew. Encrypted messages, vague excuses, and a general air of secrecy surrounded her every move. Get ready to have your jaw drop. Okay, so where do I even begin? The first real clue came in the form of a misplaced receipt. The city itself seemed to be complicit in her deception. The sprawling metropolis, with its hidden corners and anonymous crowds, provided the perfect backdrop for her affair. My breaking point came when I found the hotel bill. I finally confronted Ashley, and it was explosive. The aftermath was brutal. Rebuilding my life was the hardest thing I've ever done. It took time, therapy, and a lot of self-reflection. I had to learn to trust again, to forgive, and to move on from the pain of the past. It forced me to confront my own insecurities, to reevaluate my priorities, and to ultimately become a stronger, more independent person. Don't let anyone, not even the person you love most, treat you with disrespect. You deserve to be happy, you deserve to be loved, and you deserve to be with someone who appreciates you for who you are. The city can be a tough place, but it can also be a place of incredible opportunity and growth. Don't let anyone steal your joy. Don't let anyone dim your light. Embrace the challenges, learn from your mistakes, and never give up on your dreams. The story of Ashley's infidelity is a painful chapter in my life, but it's also a testament to my strength and my resilience. I hope my story can inspire you to overcome your own challenges, to heal from your own heartbreaks, and to create a life filled with love, happiness, and fulfillment. The city, with its anonymity and its hidden corners, played a part in her deception, but it also provided the backdrop for my own healing and growth. If you've ever been through something similar, I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. It's important to know that you're not alone, and that healing is possible. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Share this with anyone who might need to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I learned that trust is a fragile thing, that relationships require constant work and communication, and that sometimes, the best thing you can do is to walk away from a toxic situation. The anger has subsided, replaced by a quiet acceptance of what happened. I no longer blame Ashley, or the city, for my pain. I understand that people make mistakes, and that sometimes, relationships just run their course. I am grateful for the lessons I learned, for the resilience I discovered within myself, and for the opportunity to rebuild my life on my own terms. The city, once a symbol of heartbreak, is now a reminder of my own strength and my ability to overcome adversity. The city, once a source of pain, slowly became a place of possibility again. I started exploring new neighborhoods, trying new restaurants, and meeting new people. I rediscovered my passions, things I had neglected during my marriage. I joined a hiking group, took a photography class, and started volunteering at a local animal shelter. Slowly but surely, I started to heal. The scars remained, of course, but they no longer defined me. I learned that betrayal doesn't have to be a life sentence, that you can emerge from the darkness stronger and more resilient than before. The city, with its endless opportunities and its vibrant energy, became a symbol of my own rebirth, a reminder that even in the face of heartbreak, there is always hope for a new beginning. Looking back, I realized that Ashley's affair was a turning point in my life. So, what's the takeaway from all of this? Trust your gut, pay attention to the red flags, and most importantly, know your worth. Well, that was a heavy one. I hope you guys found my story helpful, or at least relatable in some way.